So you guys want a ZOE build, huh? Say no more. Today I will be showing you the absolute best ZOE builds for missions and raids, as well as an absolutely broken ZOE interaction that the devs have not fixed that you can abuse right now. This interaction has to be unintentional, as it allows you to completely bypass the guaranteed death from the ZOE ability if you have an injury. I am sure the devs will fix this after watching this video. Sorry to those who already knew about this, but I figured it's only fair to show it to everyone, because I make the best build videos after all. However, I'll get to this later. For those who don't already know me, hi, I am Plas. I am a small content creator that makes videos for fun. I am currently hosting a 250 spin giveaway the second this video drops, so feel free to join my Discord. Please join my regiment too, and check out my UGCs while you're at it. Thanks. Let's jump right into the builds. I will be covering quite literally everything you need to make these builds as perfect as possible, so follow along as best as you can. First, let's discuss the stats of ZOE. 10% ODM control and ODM speed is pretty nice as is, and the reduced upgrade cost will help you in progression. These base stats alone are better than both Jaeger and Rice not taking moves into consideration. If you would like to see where I ranked ZOE and all other families in a tier list with and without shifting, feel free to check out my video on that. Secondly, let's explain the moves. If you click off after seeing the moves, you will miss a large portion of the juicy stuff that makes these builds so overpowered. Be warned. The first move is obviously Last Stand. This is ZOE's clan move, and it's quite strong in the right hands. However, I will teach you how to make this move have no downsides at all later. The second move is Lethal Tempo. For obvious reasons, it's a pretty standard move. Third move is Hand Cutter as an escape tool, always nice to have. Fourth move is Bandages for healing and removing injuries. And fifth move is Emergency Relocation. Let's now show off the skill tree so you can figure out the optimal skill tree pathing. If you are Prestige 3, level 175, copy my tree precisely. If you are anything less than that, follow this upgrading order. Firstly, unlock Bandages in the left side support tree. Then, unlock the ZOE move called Last Stand. Then, get up to here in the right side tank tree, do not max it. After that, go back to the support tree and max the left side support tree. The reason we skip the damage tree is because as long as you focus your ODM damage upgrade, you will pretty much always one-shot Titans in missions, no matter the difficulty, so the damage tree won't matter at all. After all of that, finish off by maxing the left side damage tree. I will now explain the broken ZOE interaction with Last Stand, so listen very carefully. Here's how the move works. When you use the move, any injuries you have will be removed from you, and you will be given these buffs. After the move is used, if you receive another injury during the mode, 30 seconds after using the mode, you will explode and go bye-bye. So usually you have to play really cautious with the move, until now. So if your brain has been working, you might be wondering, wait, what if I use bandages to heal an injury to avoid dying? You have the right idea, but unfortunately the developers have thought of this. Instead of bandages healing you and healing an injury during the mode, it only heals your health and doesn't get rid of your injuries. This is a workaround to prevent you from cheesing death when using the skill and getting injured. If you paid close attention to when I was listing off the moves, Emergency Relocation may have caught your eye, especially because I didn't elaborate as to why we are using it. The move costs health to use, which can be reduced to 15% health when upgraded further in the tank tree. After using it, you instantly heal one injury and are given a couple of alright buffs. The important part is healing an injury. The devs must have forgotten about this move when making ZOE's ability, because for some reason, you can actually heal the injury you take during Last Stand by using Emergency Relocation, and you don't die after 30 seconds. This is fundamentally broken, and you should abuse this now. If this is for some reason intentional, that should be reconsidered and nerfed. The only downside to this combo is that both moves cost health to use, which could leave you at really low health after using both moves if necessary, and might cause you to drain through your bandages. But thankfully, we have a workaround with your memories, which I'll get to soon. Not to mention the left side support tree gives you massive passive health regen. If you thought that was the only broken interaction with ZOE I had for you guys, you're mistaken. Another reason why we go right side tank tree is for a passive called Ignore Injuries that allows you to ignore the first 2 injuries you take. I have tested this, but if you load into a game with this or anything similar that allows you to ignore injuries and then instantly use Last Stand, then try to get injured, you literally can't get injured. I don't think I have to explain how this is broken, and very soon I will show you how to ignore up to 8 injuries and abuse this. Here are the memories you should be using with ZOE for missions. Flash Step is always a must. If you don't have it, get it. Secondly, to help you gain health back really quickly, Life Feed. Every Titan kill gives you 2.5% of your health back, which is extremely good and necessary for ZOE if doing missions. And lastly, there are 2 really good options for the final memory. You can either use Aegisurge or Guardian. I bet you're thinking, Guardian? Isn't that a 1-star defense perk? Yes, it is, but it's criminally underrated, and I actually enjoy using this memory a lot for quality of life. However, it's much better on missions than raids, and here's why. It ignores the first 2 injuries like the passive that I showed you earlier, but this stacks, so with both of these, you ignore the first 4 injuries, but this can go even higher. The reason why this is better on missions than on raids is because you shouldn't be taking more than 4 hits in one mission if you're a competent player, effectively making you immortal to injuries, and Last Stand can't kill you. To those of you wondering if the memory called Resilience that lets you survive 1 killing blow allows you to live Last Stand, it doesn't. You die through it, therefore making this memory useless on ZOE. For raids, the memories will be completely different, but I'll explain everything related to raids later in the video. Time for the perks, and if you are up to date on the perks, you should already be able to guess a majority of them. Due to ZOE not being a legendary family, you only have 4 perk slots, 1 for each type of perk. For the offense perk, use Kengo, the mythic perk. If you do not have this, use the legendary perk Unparalleled Strength. For the defense perk, use Immortal, the mythic perk. But remember when I mentioned it being possible to be able to ignore 8 injuries? Well, instead of Immortal, if you get injured a lot and ignoring 4 injuries isn't enough, you can use Invincible, the legendary perk, to ignore an additional 4 injuries, adding up to 8. I don't suggest doing this if you're a good player. If you don't have Immortal and don't want to use Invincible, use the legendary perk Font of Vitality. For the support slot, use Tatsujin, the mythic perk. If you do not have this, use Gearmaster, the legendary perk. If you want the quality of life of seeing Titans on the map, use the legendary perk Sixth Sense instead. And for the core perk slot, use Perfect Form for buttery smooth kills. This is for missions only. This will be different for raids. And finally, let's cover the artifacts. Everything about the artifacts and artifact stats are the exact same for both missions and raids. Simply use the crown in the left side artifact slot, which you can get in the achievements, and then use the scarf in the right side artifact slot, which you can get from raids. On both of these artifacts, roll ODM damage only. However, for missions, if you one-shot Titans anyways, you can use anything else that you would prefer. That is all for missions. Let's move on to raids. For the raids build, you're going to use all the information that I previously provided, except I will tell you exactly what to change. The moves and skill tree remain the exact same, but the first set of changes reside in the memories. The memories are almost completely different. Use Flash Step like before, but instead of the others that I mentioned earlier, use Fury Forge and Crescendo, and here's why. Due to Last Stand and Emergency Relocation costing health to use, Fury Forge has insanely good synergy with this build, as it makes you do more damage the less health you have. And with Crescendo, your strategy is now completely different. This memory makes you deal more damage when Titans are stunned. By injuring Aaron's legs or eyes, you effectively stun him, therefore increasing your damage output. Especially go for this when the weak spot is on the legs or eyes. This build is extremely high-skilled, as your only source of healing are your bandages and passive health regen, which are thankfully good due to your left side support tree. Note that in the raid footage, I didn't particularly go out of my way to do the Crescendo method, and that my friend and I casually duoed Aaron without shifting. Yes, my friend did shift for phase 1, but he didn't need to. and he specifically did not shift during Phase 2. To those of you who believe it's impossible to beat raids without shifting or legendary families, here is your evidence. It is very doable without shifting, and I don't have everything mentioned in this video perfectly upgraded, so my damage could be even higher, which you can achieve. The second change in the build is found in the perks. Instead of using Perfect Form in the core slot, use Perfect Soul. This increases damage and other useful stats, and all around benefits you more than Perfect Form. And just make sure that all of your artifact stats are rolled to ODM damage, as this will help you maximize your damage output in raids. I got hundreds of requests to do a ZOE build, and I went all out for this video. I revealed every single detail you need to become a pro at using ZOE and how to compete with legendary families or shifters. If you're really happy that I finally made the ZOE video, or you just enjoyed the video in general, please feel free to like the video and subscribe for more. I make in-depth content like this all the time. Don't forget to join the giveaway in my Discord. Bye-bye!